Dr. Lowe, what's up?
You doing?
How you feeling, man?
You good?
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
the hat.
yeah. You must be in a fog. I can't see your background. It's all blurry. You got a special effect on?
Yeah, it's just like it's a special effect. You can just blur the background in case you got stuff going on.
Oh, yeah, you got stuff going on, huh?
I mean, there's nothing going on. It's just something I just keep on.
I got you, man. I got you. So how's everything?
Wonderful.
So if you don't mind, we like to get into the mind of the Lowell Hinkley.
Hmm.
Are you ready for that deep probe, man? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very special guest all the way from Canada. What part of Canada are you from? The West Coast, right?
Vancouver.
The Vancouver. And it's a very nice place. I've seen these pictures, man. It's like a beach there, like, in Canada, right? Go figure.
Yeah, it's like the LA of Canada.
Oh my God. I have to go up there. So anyway, Lowe's here. He's a member of Affiliate Nation, and he's very one of the strong proponents. And we're going to talk about how he got into it, why perhaps he might want you to work with him and stuff like that. So welcome, Lowe. How's everything?
Good, good. Thank you for having me.
All right. And so tell us, who was Lowell Hinkley?
Great question. Oh, who am I? I'm just a guy just trying to live my life. Here we go again. I don't see if I can just make sure I turn all that stuff off. Yeah, I'm just a young guy, just trying to live my life free with freedom, just the best way I can, inspire others, motivate, inspire. You just said that. Just yeah.
So
Just live life.
right now you're heavily involved in the affirmation campaigns. Is that right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Every day.
How's that work?
I mean, everybody's got their own recipe. So I mean, I got friends that help me out. I got a friend, she's like a master manifestation, and she's kind of teaching me. I mean, Neville Goddard, there's some other ones. Just yeah, over time you kind of start to formulate your own affirmations. So whether it's just like saying I am, but learning how to really incorporating like words of feeling into it. So
So
like
so so
what
for those who don't know, what are affirmations?
it's just words or sentences that you're just affirming to yourself of like, because words are very powerful, they have energy, it's like magic. So if you're it's like, why do we say please, thank you, why do we say I love you? Because like it's our communication, so these words have energy. So if you say I hate you, oh, that hurts. If you say I love you, oh, it feels good. So when you say these, like if you're saying it to people, why can't you say it to yourself? So if you say it in the mirror, you're basically just bouncing back, and you're charging yourself. It's like, if you pray to God, you're praying, you're just putting these words out, you're casting magic, and you're sending out to the universe, and basically it's just bouncing back and going into you. So for me, when you start to just formulate your own recipe, it just starts to feel like really good. You feel like energized, you get pumped up, telling yourself I love you, because maybe you didn't maybe your parents didn't tell you I love you enough, or maybe a lot of people told you you aren't good enough, and that made that starts to build our self-image from when we were younger. So for me, it was just that formed like the social anxiety that I had. Yeah, and I didn't realize it until like a couple of years ago. So it's different for all of us.
So what's social anxiety?
It's just not knowing how to communicate with people, just being very self-conscious, not thinking you're good enough, like low self-image, like just I always had, it always came down to like alcohol, like partying for my whole age of 20 up until 30 or 29. It's like every time I went out, I always had to have a drink in me. I didn't know that. It's just like it's like I didn't know how to communicate with people unless I just, for some reason, the booze always just kind of makes you not care. So
So it lowered your threshold, right?
mm,
Lowered your inhibitions.
yeah, and your frequency. So I mean, we all know like what it's like if you've been to like a party, and there's always like that one time where like, oh, like you might be hungover, and then, or you might be some friends like, oh, I'm not going to drink tonight. I'm feeling a little, but you still go out, and then you're around everybody and it just feels awkward. It feels like, why am I here? Like, I feel like everybody's just on a different level than me. It's for a reason. So I started to notice that when I started to get a little healthier and like stop drinking, and my friend was a DJ, and we go to the club, and I wouldn't drink. And then I'd be like, man, it feels like, man, I don't want to be here.
Right. You don't fit in. You're not drinking from the same pool of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a major, what we call epiphany, right?
Yeah. Also, I was in a relationship at the time. So when if you're a guy and you're in a relationship and you're still going out clubbing, or unless you're going with your partner, but I was doing a long distance thing. So when I started, like, I was not drinking, and then I would go to clubbing, and then and then you're seeing all like the
All
the
the
temptation.
all the Farah Natural.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, like, why am I talking to other girls? I'm like, this isn't right. So I just left and I stopped going, because like, it's like, that's not right.
So that's been about what, 10 years now, right?
No, I mean, that was 24, 25. Yeah, I stopped kind of clubbing at like 24, 25. I just started, I liked working out and being healthy. So it was funny. There was like a Groupon class on how to be a bartender, and I wanted to learn how to make drinks. And then at the same time, there's a health course at this, what was it? It was like a personal training school. It was like and I wanted to learn how to be healthy. I'm like, why am I learning how to make drinks, but then I want to be healthy at the same time? So I stopped going to the drinking class, and then I took the health class, and I started, because I was heavy into working out. But then when you work out every day for like the week, and then all of a sudden it's Friday, and then you go partying, and then you don't work out on the weekend. Then I wake up drinking beer, and I'm like, what the? I just did abs yesterday. Now my abs are gone. So it started pissing me off. So I just started to like stop drinking, and because just, you save money, it makes you like more energy. And then the people, like when you're surrounded by people that drink, you'll notice how like you're just not as motivated. But like when you're trying to do stuff and you have that friend that's like, hey, let's go out tonight, you're like, it's like you don't want to, but then there's that guy that's like, oh, do it. So
Wow. I thank for sharing, because I never had that experience. I knew that wasn't for me.
Yeah. Have you ever drank?
What do you mean? Like hard stuff, soft stuff?
Well, just like maybe in your teens or your 20s, and then you're just like, no, it wasn't for
No,
me.
no, no. See, let me tell you my history with drinking. At 6, I lived in a house that we had a room in a house, and the lady had a hair salon in the basement. And between the living room, the dining room, and the hair salon, she cut a hole in the floor, and she kept her phone in there. She didn't want to have to get 2 phones. She just have a long extension cord, and she kept a bottle of Seagram 7 in there. And so I knew I was a cowboy, because the Cowboys, I'm Hopalong Cassidy's boy, right? The Cowboys walk in, they take a swig down, and feels good. So one particular day, there was nobody in the house. I knew where that bottle was. I went down in the basement, opened up the lid, smelled it, smelled good, took a big swig. Oh my God, it set me on fire, Jack.
At 6?
Yeah, I took a big swig, man, put the lid back on, went upstairs, and I slept for hours, man. No more. No. I had no desire for any of that stuff.
Yeah. The thing is, like, it was always like peer pressure. Like, oh, like it was with the friends. I never drank because I wanted to. It was always because the friends were doing it. So it was like, it was like on and off, like 14, 15, then I stopped, and then I didn't really have any friends. And like 18, like near the end of high school, I started partying, and I started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And it was like 19, 20, 21 was just going hard.
So let me ask you this. Who were you then? Who was Lowell Hinkley then? I mean, compared to now, because they seem to be 2 different people. They're one and the same, but they're different people.
Completely different. I was a follower. I always like hang around, like I said, hanging out with the wrong crowd, because I was depressed for a very long time. I didn't have any like real friends. So it was just, like you said, the affirmation thing. I remember I used to sit I used to stand in front of the mirror, like, because like school, I hated school. I didn't have any friends, like real friends. Like during like junior high or like a bit of elementary, like I had some friends, but it was like they wouldn't call me on the weekend. So I was always like sitting at home. My dad would always make me do chores and I couldn't leave until I did them. Or there's always some type of project going on. So I always had to be like doing something. So it's like, oh, the friends come over. Oh, I got to work today. And then so it was like, so I was missing out, but on that friend thing. But then my dad went away and he worked a lot. So then that gave me the chance to just always be out. But then like there's still times where I would call them, but I never had any video games. I didn't have the dirt bikes. I like all my friends had stuff and I didn't. So nobody really wanted to.
Yeah.
So it was just like, yeah, food and movies was like my vice.
What about athletics?
No, like, yeah, I played soccer, but it was just like, it was a couple times a week. You go play a game, but that was it. I was never like dedicated. I would play a bit of basketball in the driveway, but I was never like into working out. And then I started to notice like I go to like all the places lit like Dairy Queen, Subway, like the corner store. Like on the weekends, I would just go to the movie place, grab a couple movies and buy some food, and I'll go home and watch movies. And that's all I did and eat. And then I started like gain a lot of weight in my belly, and that made me self-conscious, like, oh my god, why is my belly so fat? And then I didn't know how to talk to girls, and it was just like,
well, now that is a good skill. That's a good skill, talking to girls.
Oh, it took me forever. I mean there's a few times where I did try. I talked to some girls. I was trying to like break that barrier, but then there's all the other girls who like knew me from elementary, and then they're like, oh, you know him. They would always be like, it was bad. Like I got picked on a lot, and that's that really. Oh yeah, it was 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 kind of had friends, but I still got picked on by my own friends because I was always like trying to be a clown. They would just pick on me because I was a short guy, and like I don't know. That's just how it was. I was always doing stupid shit to like feel like I was being funny, and then I moved, and like grade 10, 11, 12. I still had the self-conscious thing. I didn't know how to talk to people. So I basically just sat alone in the hallway for like 3 years. So all that depression,
really,
but then, there's a few guys that were nice to me, but I was always just like basketball. That's when I started like music saved me. I picked up basketball. So it was like listening to like hip hop and basketball, like saved my life because I didn't know what else to do. So I just listened to music and I would just go play ball at the university and play with random guys. So that's like the only thing that like got me by. And then I got addicted to computer games. So it was just like being like a loner. And then, but that, like I said, comes back to that self-affirmation thing. Like I used to sit in the mirror when I was at home and be like, oh, I'm stupid. Nobody likes me. Girls don't like me. I'm not smart. I'm not this. I'm not that. I used to say it all the time, just unaware. And then sometimes I would even, I would like kind of suicidal at times. I would stand in the kitchen and I'd be saying these things to myself, and I would pick up a knife and I'd be like, oh, I always thought about just ending it. I'm like, what's the point in living? Like,
wow, that's deep, man. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And then one day for Christmas, my dad got me a month membership at the gym. And I was like, oh, the gym. But then I just went. And then I got like a training session by this guy who didn't have an arm. And he won some competitions. And so he was kind of training me for a couple of weeks. And then I just started going. I'm like, I might as well use it. And then I started doing it. And then after like a couple months, my like family started to notice like, oh, hey, you've been losing weight. I'm like, oh, really? And then I started reaching puberty, and then like I just started coming out of that. And then there's this one guy I was in my class, and he was like known for like working out a lot, and he was really nice to me. So we'd always sit, and he'd be eating his chicken and rice, and I'd be asking him questions. We'd talk about working out.
Yeah.
And then and then I just started like getting into shape, and I think that started to boost my self-confidence a little bit. And then because of the music, one of the popular guys in school, I would lend him my iPod. He's like, hey man, you got some cool music. And then we started like hanging out a lot. So I started to transition out of that, but then I was still, it was weird. It was like, it took a couple of years to earn their trust, because I was just the guy that would follow them around, hang out. Everybody would use me. And then like, until I started to like stick up for myself and like, I got a few fights. So that kind of helped. Like, hey, he's finally like manning up here. So it started to help a little bit. And getting into drugs, kind of like you get into that circle, and it just kind of it helped, but it kind of helped, but it didn't. I don't know. It was weird.
Well, it was a step in the right direction with a few steps backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So you're coming out, you're blossoming out of puberty. You're hanging out with the guys. You're a man's man. So what about the women?
Well, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the end, like when you're, it ends up just being a game. When you're surrounded by like most of my friends, their parents were split, like they broke up. So, you know, single, like being raised by a single mom or single dad, or the parents are divorced. So there's a lot of lack of love. Like, especially where I grew up, it's like, you know, you're in this beautiful, in Victoria on the island, you're in this beautiful area with $500,000 houses. Everybody's got their family, but none of the parents are together. And I started to like, so all you have all these guys that are like, you know, I'm around them, and they're pretty much, I'm being influenced by these guys who are like sleeping around with girls. So it's a game. It's all about the numbers. It's all about, oh, every weekend, or trying to get, it's like, oh, I got a girl, and so you're always like, that ends up being the game. And then you're just, it gets dangerous. And then so you start just, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know, you go that route, and you go to partying, you go to the clubs, and it just, like I said, it's just a game, and that's not how it should be.
so how are you feeling then? How did that?
I mean, it felt good at the time. It was like, because I went my whole life not knowing how to talk to girls. So then I'm around guys that are, there's more, I'm going around the environment where there's lots of girls, because that's like, you know, that's your man, testosterone's built up, and you're trying to, what's like, you want to be like the other guys. So you're always like try and get the number. So it was like later on. And then, but yeah, it was just, it makes you feel good, because you can be like, oh, I hooked up with this girl, and they're like, oh, like it's like another notch in the belt.
You know, but I just thought of something. What were the girls thinking? What were they saying?
I don't know.
If they're, well, think about it. If you all come from the same background, it's about the numbers. Then what? You guys are numbers to them too.
I guess, I don't know. It's
Anyway,
yeah.
so we pivoted out of that. We're on the road running now. And where do we go to next?
Oh, you know, dabbled in the drug game a little bit. It was never good, but it's just that environment I was in. Everybody around me was doing it, so I was like, oh, I might as well do it too. And then and everybody around me started getting arrested. So that was like and it was like all in the news, people around me, and I'm like, and then my buddy that I was hanging out with, he's like, yo, man, like, you're lucky, man. My mom has a business here in Vancouver. So he's like, man, like my mom was addicted to drugs. I didn't even have a mom. You got a mom that's got a business. Why aren't you helping her out? So I was like, it's not a bad idea. I mean, I was getting more broke. I was wasting my money, and then all these things. I was like, you know, I got to get out of here. So I just got rid of my shit, moved to Vancouver, and then I was helping my mom out for a while. And I went to culinary school. So I made a complete switch, and I became a chef, did that for almost 9 years. And then that was another, being in that industry is not really any different, because you're always surrounded, like, you stay up late, especially if you're doing like, you go to the bar after, and it's like the industry, it's like the same environment. It's just a little different. There's lots of people that do drugs. They're always going out late. So it was just another phase, but it was a good experience. Met a lot of amazing people, some of my friends, and because I love food. So that was something I was passionate about. But then when you get into business, like, it ends up being another game. It's like, you see, like, I worked in, like, just down the street, some of the most poppin' restaurants in Vancouver I worked at. And like, I see, like, this, it's stressful. Like, it's all about the money. Like, you get a few chefs that are passionate about the food, but in the end, it's just, you come here to do a job. You're not doing it because you love it. You're just doing it because you're making money and you're paying the rent. So you lose that passion. And then I seen, like, some of the owners, like, gray hair, always working. When somebody quits, you got to be there. When it's a holiday, you got to be there. Something goes wrong, you got to be there. And it's just like, and people like, you want to open a restaurant one day? I was like, hell no.
Nope, not me.
Yeah.
It's a 7-day a day week job.
24/7.
Retail, and at night. I don't like night stuff. I like daytime. So you're out of the chef game, and then what happened next?
Well, a few years ago, I was just doing my thing. I was like, you know, I quit drinking about 4 years ago, I was, same thing. It was always like a phase. Like you stop drinking, then you start again, then you stop drinking. That's like being in the restaurant industry. I worked at a winery, so I got free wine. So, and then that was another social anxiety thing. I was still, even though I was working out in great shape, eating healthy, saving up my money, but I didn't have any. I didn't have any friends at the time. I didn't have any social
interactions.
Yeah, so it's just like, then I'd be on the dating apps because I didn't know what else to do. And then like, it was Canada Day, and then it was my birthday, and I started drinking again. And then all of a sudden I was like, I started going to liquor store, I started drinking scotch, and I started buying little Mickeys of rum, and I would go home and I would be right before I go to sleep, and I'd be drinking my Mickey before I go to sleep.
Whoa.
And, yeah, and then I'd be like drinking and driving all the time. And I was like, what, how do I go from working out, being at the gym at 5 a.m. to all of a sudden I stopped working out, and now I'm just spending my money on $100-$200 bottles of scotch and drinking it on the weekend. So it was a weird phase. And then I had a little falling out with the kitchen crew I was with. So I came back to Vancouver, and then it just went more downhill. I just started going to another restaurant and drinking again, and my money starts getting lower. And then I'm just like, what's going on? And I started doing the dating apps, sleeping around again. Then I almost became a father, but it ended up being a miscarriage. So that was like my wake up call. I was like, I got to do something different. So I just cold turkey everything besides smoking and drinking. Besides smoking, I still smoked weed and smoke a hookah. But that took about a year to quit. And then after that, I quit it. And then I was like, okay, if I want to bring someone into my life, I have to be like a man. I have to raise my energy to attract who I am. So I just started eating healthier, working out, and that was it. That's all I like. Started listening to podcasts on philosophy and reading more. And then after about a year, someone came into my life, told me I could be successful. And that was my first stint in network marketing. And then I was on more of a structured routine of like reading and having a mentor. But for a year, it was just like that. And then I was working at a hotel at the time. So that was like learning a lot about myself, because like in business or your job, it's the same thing as personal. You use your job to kind of like whoever's in your life, if you're having interaction with somebody and there's things going on, like maybe an attitude or anger problem or certain situations, you can think about, all right, why are these situations keep happening? Yeah. So I started, like the books I was reading, like Marcus Aurelius and Meditations really helped me a lot. Right. Like meditating, I'm like, all right, I start to think about these situations, and like, it's really just a reflection of myself. So I learned a lot there. And then I was doing the network marketing, and then COVID happened. So I didn't have a job. And then that just gave me all the time to do my network marketing and build my my network and learn a lot of habits. But I wasn't seeing any success there. Then I got into affiliate marketing. That's how I got into what I was doing now.
Okay, so that's a pretty in-depth and very candid story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when is the movie coming out?
Who knows? Who knows if I need a movie? But I'm on the beginning of another adventure coming up soon. So
could you give us a sneak preview on that?
Yeah, I'll be moving to Mexico in a few weeks.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah.
Wow, what part?
Near in Oaxaca. So
okay.
like it's like the southern part. Like let's see. Like, here's Chiapas, and then there's Guatemala. So it's like
it's down there. Okay.
And like right down here, and then like on the other side's the Yucatan, but I'm on this side, so the Pacific side.
So what prompted you to do that?
Political stuff going on here, and just I don't know. It's just sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone. And here, I just don't feel like I'm growing here. It's just like I have a lot of nature that I like to be connected with, and being there, I think I've always wanted to learn Spanish. I love the culture. I love the food. It's just, I just got to put myself somewhere that gets me out of my comfort zone so I can. And then, yeah, like I said, the political situation here, I won't get into it, but I have my views with what's going on. And I just, I've always been the black sheep. So I'm just going to get out, do my own thing.
So you think you'll be able to sprout your wings down there?
Yeah. I've always wanted to I've always wanted to travel, and right now is like I got to do it now before the my prime minister is making some rash decisions on our movement here. So
What do you
I'm
mean?
getting well. He just made a decision on you have to be you got to be by October 30th, and then by the 30th it's like mandatory trains, planes. You got to have it, and I don't want it, and that's just my decision. So I have a feeling things are going to get worse here than people really think. So I'm just getting out while I can. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, well, so you're going down to what's the place again? Oaxaca?
Hmm.
Oaxaca, is that near La Venta? You know,
I don't know. It's a state, so it's like there's
La Venta is where they found the
pyramids.
no, well, no, not there. They have pyramids there too. They found the Olmec heads.
Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. It's like that whole southern area from like the Yucatan to
Okay,
Oaxaca. Like,
right.
so it's funny. I have a so in one of the restaurants I used to work at, I had a friend who it was a Mexican restaurant. So that's why I always want to learn Mexican food. So I got the chance to work there for about 6 months, and I had a good friend from Oaxaca, and we like spiritually like connected. Like we were always talking about philosophy and spirituality, and we'd always stay in contact. And he always mentioned how he'd go down there every year to go see his family. And he's like, "Hey man, you ever want to come down? You can come visit." So I actually called him recently, and he's like, "Hey man, why don't you go down there? I got a lot of connections down there." So when you start manifesting things, all of a sudden like all these connections start happening. I met some people in Vancouver who got friends down there. So I'm getting all these
Oh,
connections. So it's just like everything starts to
okay.
connect the dots. So I'm like, oh, I guess it's meant for me to go.
So you're going to be an expat down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna live that digital nomad and the lifestyle. So I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to.
so like, how's that going to impact your business, you think?
Oh, it's gonna help a lot. It's I'm gonna make me more free, live a lifestyle, and I think people like seeing stuff on the beach. So it'll help, but yeah, I'm just looking forward to just growing. Being in a place where you don't know the language, and it'll I know it'll like my mindset now, because I used to live in the Dominican for a while,
Hmm.
and I was trying to learn, but then I started partying again. So now I have the right mindset on how to learn and grow. I know that I know I'll pick up the language quick. I know I'm going to make a lot of connections, and I've always wanted just. I've always been a student of like native, like Aboriginal history and the history of this world. So me going down there, it's going to give me the chance to really like travel and learn a lot about the
Yeah,
culture.
man, because you'd be down with the pyramids. They say there's some very exotic structures down there. Very exotic.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to picking up my Spanish, and then who knows, I might go more south, maybe going through the Amazon or something. Who knows what's going to happen?
So you were in the DR, the Dominican Republic?
But that was years ago. But I meant like when I was living there, I was trying to learn. I was way out in the north, like just
Oh,
working on like a little animal farm. I was like volunteering, so mixing with the locals and the culture. I loved like just it's even though it's poverty, they know how to live life. They're always surrounded by family and friends. They're always in like positive spirit. They know how to just you go down the street, everybody's smiling and saying hello, and
yeah,
you
yeah, right.
don't get that here. Like here, it's in the
What,
big
what,
big.
what are you looking at? What are you saying hello to me for? What's wrong with you?
Huh?
That's what they say. If you
Yeah,
if you if you smile at them and say hello, they say, well, "What's wrong with you? Why are you smiling at me?"
yeah. Like you get the occasional smile in the city. When I'm here, it's just like he was like the Matrix when Neo was when he's in the Matrix, when he's walking with Morpheus. Everybody's in their suit, and everybody's just like
Yeah,
robot.
you know it. So you'll be making it next year sometime, right?
What do you mean?
The move.
No, 3 weeks.
Oh, 3 weeks. Okay,
Yeah,
you're gonna beat Halloween then, right?
yeah.
Wow. So, is there anything special you want to talk about in terms of your business?
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm a digital marketer. I'm doing consulting. I got my website coming out soon, so I got a special course on like mindset. So it's great for people that are looking to just evolve as a person, or if they want to get into business. But it's good to get into business, but if you don't have the right mindset, so that's what this is really about. It's really teaching people about, I've been really passionate about health and working out. So all the stuff that I've learned myself, I broke down into this course. I have resources that I've used myself. So books, certain podcasts. So it's everything that I've learned over, I've took basically like a decade of just into these like a video, these courses. So it'll be like it'll be great for like anybody of all age. And then, if they take me on, I know what it's like to struggle, and I know everybody does. So it's having somebody that'll just hold you accountable and just help you in the times of struggle. And like in the times where you're like, you're at your lowest, is that you got to have support system. You got to have the right friends or community that are always there for you. And that's why
I got you. Right.
I did this. And then if there's people that are looking to get into business, I can show them the right route, even if it's not with me, depending on what it is that they want to do, I can help put them in the right direction.
That sounds great, man. I'm happy for you. It's wonderful news.
Appreciate it.
Because we need that type of structure. We need that type of stuff in our lives to move forward. Because, out of high school, what do? You go to the military, you go to college, whatever that is, or you go to McDonald's.
A job at Home Depot like me.
Yeah. Your choices are vast, right?
That's the funny thing is, like, when I was in high school, like, I got my views on school. Basically, it's like, you go here and this is what you have to do. And that's it. Like, unless you're somebody that's like passionate about art or you're creative and you find your own avenue, when you're there, you get on the computer and they give you this little course thing where it's like, this is what you have to do. It's trades, real estate. It's like, no, it's basically like they're choosing your career for you. Like, they're not giving you the opportunity to choose. So I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't want to do real estate. I don't want to do counselor. It was all these, like, they give you a selection and then that's it. I'm like, that's it. So I didn't resonate with any of it. And that was frustrating. It was like, why is this it? So that's why so many people are unhappy, because they're choosing job. They don't know what else to do. We don't know how to think for ourselves. We're letting the system choose for us.
You think so?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a lot different now because we have the internet. You have so many people, TikTok, YouTube. You have all these social media platforms that are helping people really express themselves and be able to do things that they never thought possible. So there's a lot more than it was, back in, like, obviously from your time up until now. So I find that we've lost that. Not lost, but now it's like a time where we've really have that creativity. So right now is the best time to be alive.
Yeah, I agree. This is every day is the best day. Yeah. So business is good. You're moving down to Venta, Oaxaca rather, and bringing your family, bringing your friends. You're just going alone.
Yeah, they're staying. They're my mom and dad are they're semi-retired. They just sold their business, got their retirement condo. So it's been a long time coming. They've been struggling for a long time. So they're looking to live their life. And my family's doing their own thing. So they want to stay here. And like I said, I've always felt like the lone wolf, which that's what my name means. Funny. So I'm going to go out and just do
your name means lone wolf.
Oh, little wolf. Yeah.
What? Lowell?
Yeah. In Spanish, it's Lobo.
So how did you get Lobo? How do you get Lobo from Lobo?
Oh, well, my dad big on music. So there's the group Little Feat.
I know.
No. Well, there's a guitarist named Lowell George. He was a famous guitarist, one of my dad's favorite, and so he named me after that.
Oh, actually.
It's funny because my sister's name is Celine, and that means the moon, like Luna. So right. I'm the wolf and she's the moon. So a little connection there.
The lone wolf and the moon. All right. So, anything else you want to share?
No, I just say thanks again for having me on here.
So what would be what's your favorite food anyway?
Favorite food? Oh my God, that's a hard one.
Well, anyone, but what's your top?
It always comes down to, I guess, cookies.
Okay.
I've always had a thing for cookies, and then I was going through my baby book, and there's literally like a picture of me 1 year old, and I got this little baby apron on. It's got like the Oreo cookies on it, and
Oh yeah. Oh, that's you, right?
yeah, I've always said like, here's a funny story. I was in culinary school, and it was like our last. It was like the last week we had to have, had to get exams. We had to like cut a chicken. We had to make sauce. We had to make a pastry. Then there's the pastry side. They had to make cookies, and then there's a room where you had to take your little plate and you had to put your food on it, and you had to leave it out there. And then the teachers would come by and they would check it. And the pastry side, they had to make cookies, and they had to make 2 cookies. And then when we were going, we were done ours, and then we go in our room to sit, and then there's a couple of plates of cookies there. And I'm like, well, they're just sitting there. So I went over and I ate one of the cookies, not knowing as one of the students' final exam.
Oh my
They're
God.
like, who ate one of the students' cookies? And I was like, so I got in trouble because I ate one of their exams. It was
How
just
did-
sitting there.
It was just there. They were home. Why'd you kill them? They were home.
Yeah, so it's everywhere. I try and eat healthy, and then I'll go into the coffee shop like, ooh, cookie, and it's funny.
You know, I think your diet will take a different turn when you go down there.
Yeah, it's gonna be different. So I'm looking forward to the fresh, exotic food there. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, like everything is, it's on the land. The chickens are on the land. The animals are
Yeah,
on the land. The fruit's on the land too.
yeah, but they also, I mean, from what I know about Mexico, they like their sugar. They like their
Oh
sweet.
yes.
So we'll see what types of like when I was in the Dominican, they like their sugar there, like Tijuana. I think the pastry. So I mean, we'll see. It'll be adventurous, but a challenge to see how well I can.
Now you know that Coca-Cola has different sugar contents based upon which geography they're in.
Yeah, I don't drink that shit.
Just in case you wanted to.
No, pop, juice, I stay away from that.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, that's Mr. Lowell Hinkley, broadcasting live from Vancouver, upstairs in Canada. Is it
Mhm.
warm up there now? Is it cold?
It's getting chilly. Oh, the leaves are brown and red. You could see my breath yesterday. So that's what's good about Vancouver is it doesn't really snow. Maybe if like a few days or a week and then it melts. But it's definitely the nicest place to be in Canada, in my opinion.
Well, of course. I mean, you're from Vancouver. So thank you very much, Lowell. And
Thank you. Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on. I know you're a very productive and active man and taking time out of your busy schedule.
Mhm.
Okay, that's it. We're done.
Thanks again. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All
So
right,
I'm
see ya.
gonna send this over to you in the raw, and then I'll edit it out, doctor it up. Oh, by the way, wait, stay right there. Don't move. I want to take a picture of you so I can put that on the thing. Oops. If I can do that. No, I can't do that. Oops. I can take a screenshot, right? I did it that way. I'll do it the other way. Let me take it again. Okay, great. So I'll do it that way. And
All right.
I'll put it in a little thing in the thumbnail. All right.
All right. Sounds good.
So what happened? Did your mom stop using the app? Or did she do the breathing now or what?
Yeah, it's funny. She actually stopped. I mean, she still has her phone, but she wants to not rely on um just having like an app to get her to sleep. So she's been just not using it at all now. She just kind of I was like, "Hey mom, what happened? You stopped using." It's funny. I said that I think yesterday. I was like, "Hey, you stopped using the Simple Mind or whatever, or not Simple. What's it called? I forget what it was called, but she stopped using it. So now she just she doesn't really meditate anymore. So I was like, hey, stop meditating. But she's trying to go to sleep without having something else.
Oh, before you leave, could you do me a favor? Could you put your email in the thing there, just in case Facebook goes crazy in the chat? Because Facebook was out, I think, Tuesday.
Oh, I know. I thought it was my Wi-Fi. I'm like, oh my, what's going on with my Wi-Fi? Why is it not? I kept on refreshing. I'm like, why is it not working?
Yes, it must. For me, I was thinking, what did I do wrong now?
Yeah. Well, for those that know, we know why it happened.
Why did it happen?
Oh, the you hear about the whistleblower?
Yeah, something about that. What did she say? Something about
Basically, Facebook's been using their resources to spread propaganda and racism, and they're using all our information and selling it, which Zuckerberg said he never did. So they used that time to delete all the information for the past how many years. So,
oh, I see. Cover your trail, right?
mhm.
Facts. Smart move.
Or yeah, well, and then so because of that, who knows? We might see more restrictions on Facebook for people sharing certain information or trying to awaken people. So it's going to get a little worse. Maybe we'll see.
Okay, we'll see. You know,
Depends who you have as a friend on Facebook. It depends on the information,
it
but
could
that's what I
be.
like. That's what I like about affiliate marketing is it's mostly you choose who you want to pick, and it's all mostly like positive information. So it just depends on what kind of friends you have.
Yeah. Okay, man. So again, thanks, Lowell, and happy trails to you. If we don't speak again, of course, we can always reconnect vis-a-vis the internet
Yeah,
down there in Mexico.
yeah.
¿Hablas español ya o no?
Un poquito.
Un poquito. Bueno, hay que aprender rápido, jefe. Okay, nos
All right,
vemos,
buddy.
man. Thanks a
All
lot.
right. Take it
Peace
easy.
out. So, Lord Hinkely. Every job for freaking you. So,